ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Factorio. I'm Jason312. Alright, now, you're probably looking at my screen and saying, hey, that looks different from where we left off in the last video. What the heck did you do? Alright, well, first of all, I took some time off screen and I built up a bunch of things. That way I wouldn't have to worry about trying to do it all and explain as I go. So I went ahead and built it, and now I'm just going to explain it to you. So when we left off in the last video, we had just gotten to the point where we were about to start power. So in order to build our power setup, or power station, you need an offshore pump, 13 boilers, and 10 steam engines. Now, you don't absolutely have to have all of those, but you do require to have that setup. It has to go offshore pump, boilers, and then steam engines. Because the steam engines require steam in order to function. The boilers boil the water, which creates steam. So, you know, it has to be that way. That's how it works. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research and I've built a little bit of extra stuff in here that I will go into in just a minute. But in order to set the steam engines up and provide steam to them to provide power to what you need power to, you need to have some kind of input of fuel. In my case, I used coal. Now, I had two options for the coal. I could use this little patch of coal right here, which is what I did. Or I could have drug the coal, or transported the coal on transport belt all the way from over here. However, I want this patch of coal to be exclusive for my iron plate and copper plate production when I get my main furnace set up going. Now, this building here is a radar station. Radar station allows me to view this part of my factory right in here, this big box, without having to be right on top of it. So as you can see here, I've got my little warning indicator that there's an enemy base forming down here. If aliens, or in this case local inhabitants, decided to attack my steam engines, I could see them before they get to me because they'll show up right here. I also have the added benefit of certain sections of my steam engines here are being protected by the trees, so they can't really be gotten to from the left side. They have to come to the right. Or they can, but they have to take out this section up here first. So essentially, I have built a form of a wall protecting my science production and my mining production using my steam engines. Okay, so after steam engines, getting your power set, building your steam engines and getting your power set up and providing some sort of power input, you need to have a way to take the input and place it into the boilers so that the boilers can burn the fuel. Now you have two options at this point. You can go ahead and just use electric inserters, which of course require power. So you would have to run power lines all the way up here to them in order to provide the power. Or you can do what I've done, which is just use burner inserters. You're already going to need to burn coal or wood in order to run the boilers. Why not just use the burner inserters and fuel them with the same fuel source? So that's what I did. And that's how that works. So our miners here will harvest the coal, place it on this belt. Belt goes along here, all the way up to our burner inserters, and our burner inserters will place them into the boilers. Now at first, the burner inserters will not place them into the boilers directly. They will actually take a little bit for themselves first so that they can ensure that they will have power. So that's just something to keep in mind there. After that, we needed to set up our lab and research. Now I have 2 of them here. And the reason I have 2 of them is because I wanted to increase the speed for my research. Give me a second here. I gotta go run and grab some resources. But when you have 1 lab placed down, it will take, for your first research, 10 science packs. In my case, my first research was military, because I can build gun turrets. I researched turrets. It's right down here. After I researched turrets, I researched automation. Now, turrets, obviously, they will protect your factory for you automatically. You don't have to tell them to attack. You don't have to be there to watch them attack. If they see an enemy nearby, they will just automatically start shooting. Automation allows you to start building things on an automated process, so you don't have to do it all yourself. Which, that's what I'm getting ready to show you over here with my labs. Once you've researched automation, you can do setups like this. Place in copper plate, and take more of that out. There we go. Place in copper plate. Now, as you can see here, all I have to do to get this little assembly started is place iron plates into the boxes. I don't know if I called them copper plates or not, but whatever I said before, please disregard it. Placing iron plate into the boxes will allow the inserters to take the iron plate from the boxes, place them in the assembly building, which the assembly building will turn them into iron gears. And then, once they're turned into iron gears, this inserter places them into this box. When I need science packs for research, like right now I have 2 science packs in this lab, so it doesn't matter what I've got. It doesn't matter what I've got going on in this building. This inserter will not move any science packs from this building until one of those science packs is used up in the lab. So at this point, I am just making a surplus of iron gears. And they're sitting in this box. The way these assembly buildings work is like this. When you first place one down, it's going to look like that. Make sure you have the Alt button pressed. You push it once and you can see the display that I've got going on here. When you first place down the assembly machine building, you'll see this blank building here. In order to set up a recipe, you click on it, and then you go to the specific tab that you're looking for. In my case, I need intermediate products because I need iron gear wheels in order to make Science Pack 1. And that recipe is right here. As you can see, it requires 1 copper plate and 1 iron gear wheel. Now the total raw resources is 2 iron plates and 1 copper plate. So we're going to go ahead and set this one up to do iron gear wheels. And now, all we have to do in order to start it is place some iron plate in this box, and it'll start. And that's how the automation works. I do not have to build these science packs anymore. Now, at first, when you put down your lab, you're going to have to build the science packs yourself. You'll have to do 10 of them in order to get automation. Or in my case, if you're playing like I am, I had to make 20 of them because I went for turrets first. Can I actually... That's something I need to look up. Okay, so this thing over here that I built, I disregard it because I was trying to build lamps on an automated process, and I found out I don't quite have the technology I require to do it yet. So in order to build lamps, and that's what this is here, I have to have the Automation 2 research, which gives me access to the Assembly Machine 2. That requires 40 red science packs. I think. Is that 40 or 80? I can't tell. Either way, I don't have the research for it right now, so I can't build lamps on an automated process. The Assembly 1 machines have this really bad flaw. They can only build things that require up to 2 ingredients. So in other words, I can build a furnace, I can build a boiler, I can build repair kits, but I cannot build lamps because they require 3 resources. So that's just something to be aware of when you're making your factories. Make sure that you have the required research to do what you're wanting to do. Okay, what's my next step here? I gotta figure out what I'm doing. Do I want to do automation? Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so as you can see here now that I've started research, my labs have started working. And they will continue working until my Automation 2 research is done. Wow. Did not realize I had that much stuff up there. But anyway, the way this works is this. And the reason I have it set up the way I do is this. When you're working with inserters, as you progress through your research tree, or your tech tree, you'll get something called the stack inserter bonus. Where is it at? There we go, stack inserter. Inserter capacity. This will actually increase the amount of items that your inserters can move. So when you're going from building to box to building, you're allowing yourself a buffer for when you run out of raw resources. So, for example, I just put iron plate in these 2 chests over here. When these 2 chests empty out, these buildings will stop. However, because I have a surplus of iron gear wheels in these 2 chests, these 2 buildings will continue until these chests are empty. Which allows for a... it prevents a line shutdown is what it does. Alright. I think that will wrap it up for the moment here. We've progressed about as far as we can progress for the moment. Something to just keep aware of if you're playing this game or wanting to play this game. The research does take time. And if you want to increase your research speed, you do need to build more labs and more science pack production facilities. Otherwise, it'll take a really long time to get to the end game point where you're building your rocket to launch your satellite into space, and etc., to win the game. There really is not an end to this game that I've found. It's essentially just keep building and building and building until you get to a point where you're literally utilizing every resource on the planet. Because this game is sort of like Minecraft, especially on the PC. I don't know if it's released for other consoles or not, but it's like Minecraft. The world is infinite, and you can explore as far or wide as you want. But like I said, I think that'll do it for this episode, guys. If you like this video, please go ahead and click that like button down below. If you enjoy the content I provide, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty more. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.